Okay, so I've been receiving a lot of comments from you wanting to know the exact setup of my 7 GPU mining rig, and I can tell you right now that this is a 472 mega hash per second mining rig when mining on the ETHash algorithm. Now, although I do have other videos showing my mining rig when I had started it off with 5 GPUs, which was running at 272 mega hash, and then eventually I recently had upgraded the mining rig to 472 mega hash by adding another 2 video cards. So now, today on That Techo Guy, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down all of the components in one single video. I'm going to be showing you the entire rig as it is as at December 2021, how much the entire rig has cost me, and what return on investments I have made. And the question is, have I even reached the break point yet of all those costs that I have invested in all of this hardware? So stay tuned for that. Okay, so I'm going to start off bit by bit here. So I'm going to start off with the very first 2 old video cards that I had, which is the Asus Strix here, which is a GTX 1070, and I have another GTX 1070 here as well. And these are the very first 2 cards I had purchased for mining back in 2017. And these 2 cards are basically getting me 60 mega hash between them both, okay? Nowadays, if I were to purchase these video cards, they would cost me around 300 to 350 euros each, even though 4 years have passed on these video cards. So I can't really take the costs of these into consideration because I had broke even on them back in 2017 when I had purchased them. But for the purpose of this video, so you have the equivalent of the entire cost of the entire 7 GPU mining rig, I am going to add the costs of 350 each for the GTX 1070 video cards as well. Next, I had purchased the GeForce RTX 3080. This is the GameRock Overclocked edition. This is one of the best cards you can purchase out there for mining. And by the way, all of these video cards that you're going to be seeing here are not LHR. They are not hash rate limited. So I did manage to get all of the video cards at the time where the market wasn't flooded with LHR cards. So this RTX 3080 Palit GameRock Overclocked edition is doing around 105 mega hash per second, and it is a brilliant card. It is probably the best card, the best brand that you can buy out there when mining on the ETHash algorithm for an RTX 3080 video card. This had cost me 979 euros, and I will be breaking this down again and showing you later on in the video an Excel spreadsheet with all the costs and the return on investments. But after this, I had gone on and purchased the RTX 3060 Ti. This is the Aorus edition, and this gives me 60 mega hash, and I had purchased that for around 750 euros. Next on, I had moved on and purchased the RTX 3060. Actually, I think I had purchased the RTX 3060 first, and that had cost me around 650 euros. This is on the main board because it is the unNerfed edition. So I am unnerfing this card. There are videos on that as well, and I will leave everything down in the description below for you to follow later on. As you can see, all of the risers here are connected by a splitter. It is a 4 PCI Express splitter. That means that I can actually take one of the 1 times slot, and that can also fit into a 16 times slot. It's still going to work. From one slot, I am getting 4 outputs, which are going to 1, 2, 3, and 4 video cards. And initially that had built up my 5 GPU mining rig. At the back there, you can see the extractor fans as well, which are actually pushing cold air flowing over the backplate of the cards to keep them nice and cool. I was intending to add a few fans at the front to continue to extract the hot air out, but we'll see next year, because now the weather has cooled down significantly here, so it's around 13 degrees, and that is very comfortable to be running this, and I can actually stay up here and actually enjoy some of that heat as well and use this as a heater. So next up, after I had added all those 5 GPU video cards, and that had given me a total of 272 megahash, I had added another worker, and the base board here and the main board I had gotten really for free because they were used PCs that I had lying around, and I just used those in order to carry this out. So these are basically just old Lenovo M92 main boards. I had removed the case on this one so that I could comfortably fit the RTX 3060 on the main board. And then I am using the power supply, which is a small power supply that comes with the PC itself. So basically I just had removed the entire chassis, the entire case, and just left the bottom part so that the main board could fit to that plate as well. And I just connected all that up, and everything is running on Windows 10. And then I had added recently I had added another 2 RTX 3080 Gigabyte Eagle video cards, and the total cost of those 2 video cards is 2,500 euros. They cost 1,250 each, and those are my latest purchase, and I had purchased these around September. I had also added some thermal pads. I have videos on that as well, in order to be able to keep those temperatures down, especially the memory junction temperatures, when overclocking the GPUs. And I'm happy to say that I'm getting 102 megahash per GPU on these Gigabyte Eagle cards. So that is really awesome after I had added those thermal pads. Do check out my video on how to add the thermal pads and to know more about which thermal pads I have used down in the description below. In order to connect these 2 risers, because I had fully saturated the main board there and I couldn't really connect anything else because one of the PCI Express slots was being taken up by the width of the Gigabyte Eagle 3060 unNerfed card, I had to do another worker, and here I have another Lenovo PC. This one is closed, I didn't need to open it. I passed the cables from the back for the risers through the slots where normally the graphics card would sit, and I had passed these up here. And basically that's got its own power supply, the PC, and I've got another power supply back there just to power these 2 cards. Obviously I can add more video cards to that power supply. That is a 1000 watt power supply. It is a Seasonic Prime, and these are all gold. And basically for the Seasonic here, you can see that box right there. So that's the Seasonic GX 1000 watt power supply, gold edition. Okay, so that's the one that is running back there, and it's powering up my 2 RTX 3080 Gigabyte Eagle cards, which are the latest versions that I made. And with the power of those 2 video cards, I basically bumped up to 472 megahash per second when mining on the ETHash algorithm. Now obviously the return on investment I'm getting for these 2 cards, which cost me 2,500 euros as mentioned earlier, is all being brought back faster by the power of all the others that I had already gotten the cost back for. So that is how you can actually manage to keep on expanding your rig, because when you start off small, you recuperate the investment for some of the cards, and then you continue adding more. And with the cards that you had before, you will be able to get the cost back for newer equipment that you are purchasing even faster. Now, for the first rig that I showed you, I also have an EVGA power supply back there, which is a 1300 watt gold power supply as well. So both power supplies are quite efficient because they are gold rated. I didn't go for the platinum or titanium editions because those were really expensive, And I'm going to break down the costs for those as well. Basically, the power supplies cost 150 euros for the EVGA power supply that I had purchased around 3 years ago as well. And for the Seasonic, that cost around 120 euros. But we will confirm the costs right now, and I will show you my Excel spreadsheet with all the numbers and figures, and if I have actually reached that break-even point. Okay, so on to the fun calculation part, and here you can see my detailed Excel spreadsheet. And yes, I am quite keen on Excel spreadsheets because it just gives you a holistic view of all the data you have, and it represents it in a neat and tidy way, the way I do it at least. So hopefully here I'll be able to explain to you, and you'll be able to see this clearly. So here in this section here, you've got when I started mining. I started mining on the 18th of January this year. Total days mining has been 325. It hasn't been a year yet. Total electricity consumption is 1,500 watts. I've got a bit of a typo there. Electricity. 1,500 watts for the entire 7 GPU mining rig. And here I have the section of the components. Now these are the components that I have purchased for my 7 GPU mining rig. I have included all of the video cards up to here, both power supplies, even though the EVGA 1300 watt power supply I had purchased 4 years ago, I am still including that in the price here as well. At this point, I am not including the two GTX 1070 video cards. As I said earlier in the video, I had already reached the return on investment on those cards when I purchased them back 4 years ago. So it doesn't totally make sense to include them in the costs here, since I had started mining now in January of this year, and those cards had already reached the return on investment, and I had already recuperated the funds for those cards. But we will add those in at a later stage in this video as well, just so you see a representation of the entire 7 GPU mining rig. If you were to actually build one yourself, how much it would cost with those video cards included as well. I've also included the optional fans that I have on my rig. So I've got 6 140mm system fans at the back of the rig, and those cost me around 10 euros each, which is around 60 euro. And the aluminium rig frame parts to build the rig. So I purchased the aluminium angle bars, and I assembled that myself together with all the bolts and other things needed, and that cost around 30 euros. And those two, the fans and the aluminium rig, are optional. Obviously you can find other ways to mount everything together as well. So the total cost to buy 5 video cards here, the 5 video cards, again I'm excluding the GTX 1070, we'll add those later. These 5 video cards, as I said earlier, are non-LHR cards. They are not hash rate limited, so I am getting the full potential out of those cards. And the total cost for both power supplies and those 5 cards is a total of 5,291 euros. Now, just to be calculating this completely to the full, I am also going to add the risers and the PCI Express splitter, because I did not add those in, and those amounted to another 100 euros. So I'm just going to put down 100 here, 100 euro for the risers, and also for the 4-way splitter, because I had failed to include that, so I'm just going to include that there as well. The risers are not really optional, so I did actually need to have those, and I'm just going to put that there. But the 4-way splitter was kind of optional, but I would have had to then put in more workers, more systems, so that was really ideal to cut down how many workers I needed to use. So the other 100 euros I have put in there, and as you can see, the cost to buy the components has gone up. Okay, so from 5291 to 5391. Now here I am actually getting live crypto prices from CoinMarketCap. So here you can see all the current prices. I'm just going to refresh the data so you can see that all changed now. So the numbers have slightly changed there, and obviously that's going to reflect the totals as well. This section down here is the section of what I have held up in my exchanges at the moment, and what I have in the exchanges is what I mined and not any other trading or investing that I did from my own money. This is all purely mining, and the quantities here are all mined coins and tokens. So for example, Bitcoin, I don't really have much. Ethereum, I have 0.8 at the moment. I had sold my Solana. I have 1,400 Dodge. I have 57 Ergo, 30 million Shiba Inu, 122,000 Wink, and 153 million SafeMoon. Those are all I have mined up until today. Obviously, I had mined more, but down here in the section below, you can see the withdrawals that I had done as well this year. So these are the withdrawals I did basically to get back the cost for electricity and to be able to buy more hardware as well. So what I am doing here is basically the withdrawn amounts have gone to my bank account. The amount here is the total amount that I have on the multiple different exchanges, and the total after I deduct electricity costs. So here I am calculating the electricity costs till the end of this year. So I know that till the end of this year, I am not going to do any more upgrades. So the electricity consumption is still going to remain 1,500 watts for running all the 7 GPUs and all the components, mainboards, CPUs, things like that. And that has given me a total return on investment after electricity costs have been deducted of just over 7,000 euros. So if I deduct the 5,391 from the 7,046, that gives me a total return on investment and profit of 1,655 euros. So not only have I reached the break-even point of all the components that I have purchased starting from February, I had started purchasing these components, but I am also making a profit of 1,655 euros. Now, if I were to add in the two GTX 1070 video cards that I had purchased 4 years ago, just for the sake of it, just so you see how much it would actually cost to build the entire rig, if I were to add those would be approximately nowadays, if you were to try and find the price of a used GTX 1070 video card, that would cost you between 300 and 350 euros. So let's just say 350 euros. I have two of them, so that would be 700 euros. So effectively, this would cost around 6,000 euros for the entire rig, including the aluminium frame, the fans, and everything else that we mentioned. So 6,000 euros, that would still, after adding those 700 in, leave me with approximately 1,000 euro profit from the time that I had started mining. Okay, so that's at the current prices. Obviously, the coin prices could crash tomorrow, and I could potentially lose almost 5,000 euros, but I don't think that all the cryptocurrency prices are going to go down to zero, God forbid. So I think I'm just going to leave them there. At the moment, the markets are in a decline because I was making actually more than that up until a week or two ago, but the markets are currently in decline with Christmas coming up as well. The Black Friday sales having just passed as well. Many people tend to sell off large amounts in order to be able to have some money to be able to spend over the holiday period as well. So that's probably why at the moment markets are starting to go down, besides other world factors and other news going around in the crypto space. But those are my profits. So basically, if I were to add the GTX 1070 cards in, I've got a profit of around 1,000 euros. So I have gone above the break-even point and actually made 1,000 euros. Just really quickly, I don't want to drag this out too long. The electricity here I have calculated in another tab. So I started off using 400 watts when I was just using the two GTX 1070 video cards. Obviously, the wattage consumption is also including the mainboard, CPU, RAM, and that power as well. So I am measuring at the wall with a TP-Link HS110 plug, and I am measuring the total wattage like that, and I have calculated that up until the end of this year, and I'm just calculating that up until here. I am not including January for now. So as you saw here, I used until the end of December 1,373 euros worth of electricity in order to run my mining rig. I hope that you found this video useful. I apologize that it was slightly longer than my usual videos, but I wanted to explain this well and show you my full rig setup and the time it took me to actually recuperate the costs. Now, I have recuperated the costs around a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, but obviously that always fluctuates depending on the prices of the crypto coins and tokens that I have mined. I am, as you can see, diversifying my portfolio as much as I can as well, and that's why I use unMineable, even though I'm still mining on the ETHash algorithm, and essentially I am mining Ethereum all the time. I am still getting paid out in the different coins, and that helps me to diversify my portfolio even more as well. So thank you for watching my video. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so down below and smash that like button, hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos do come out on my channel. And until next time, take very good care of yourselves, and thanks for watching.